As you consider a retirement village for yourself or a loved one, or if you're already living in one, it's important to understand your rights as a resident. That's where Seniors Rights Service can help. This video will assist you to understand your rights and identify what you can do if issues arise. We are a community legal centre dedicated to helping residents understand their rights and advocating for your interests. We provide advice to strata, retirement village and aged care residents on issues arising from disputes or interpretation of contracts, as well as providing advice on residents' rights and security of tenure. So, what is a retirement village? A retirement village is a complex containing residential premises predominantly occupied by retired people who have entered into village contracts with the complex's operator. The age of residents living in a retirement village is over 55. Specifically, this excludes nursing homes, hostels, and caravan parks. Living in an over 55s retirement village means you can access a vibrant community of like-minded individuals with social events, clubs, and facilities that cater to your interests and needs. You can enjoy various services and maintenance-free living with modern amenities, secure environments, and access to support services when you need them. It's important to know your rights when you move into a retirement village. So, let's explore them in detail.
Before you move into a retirement village of your choice, there are a few key elements that you need to consider. We recommend that you get independent legal advice about your contract before signing it. Seniors Rights Service can assist you with free legal advice. A disclosure statement and the general inquiry document must be given to you before the contract is signed. You may be asked to pay a deposit. This deposit is fully refundable if you change your mind. This disclosure statement must show the following: the size, location, and proximity of the retirement village to hospitals, shops, and public transport, the contact details for operator and residents committee, the safety measures in place at the retirement village, the types of contracts available to the resident of the retirement village, a list of the services available in the village, the details of the management, ownership, care facilities and their compliance with governing legislation, and the premises available in the village. Before you sign the contract, we recommend you do your due diligence. This includes visiting the village to see the village rules, meet other residents, and even speak to some residents from the residents committee. Ask to see sample contracts for your consideration, and when you do get your contract, make sure to carefully read through all the terms. It's always best to get legal advice when it comes to signing a contract to make sure that you have a clear understanding of all the terms, conditions, and inclusions. Important, this is not a mere conveyancing transaction. An understanding of retirement villages law is important. If you're unhappy with the terms of the contract given to you, you can negotiate the terms. Also, make sure your negotiated terms are included in the contract. It's always best to have a legal advisor on hand for these types of situations. The most common contracts you will receive to sign are a loan and license agreement, a leasehold agreement, an agreement to a retirement village that is also strata titled, a rental agreement, a company title scheme. If you have any questions about the type of contracts, you can seek legal advice from Seniors Rights Service or your private lawyer. Information is also available on the New South Wales Fair Trading website. First of all, you must have time to read the contract, at least 14 days from the receipt of a disclosure statement, to give the contract the proper consideration it requires. The contract will be in a standard form. If English is not your first language, we recommend getting your contract translated by a certified translator. Your contract must have the signed disclosure statement received previously attached to it. Where applicable, your contract may also have a copy of the condition of the premises attached. Please keep in mind that this condition report is not required if you will own the unit. Another attachment that may come with the contract is a copy of the village's rules. There are a few terms that cannot be in your contract. If you find any of the following terms in your contract, it is important that you contact your legal advisor to make sure that the contract is amended. Your contract cannot have any terms requiring you to take out insurance, such as life insurance or contents insurance. Of course, if you would like to do this as your own choice, you can. But a contract with a retirement village operator cannot require you to take out insurance as a condition of the contract. Your contract cannot have any terms which restrict your ability to be absent from a unit. For example, in the case of an extended holiday or hospitalisation, your contract absolutely cannot have a requirement for you to have a will in place or to tell your operator where your will is located. If your contract has any other requirements that raise concerns for you, or you are unsure about anything in your contract, the bottom line is to always get legal advice when considering your contract. You can seek advice from a seniors' rights service lawyer. Once your contract is signed, you have a settling in period. This means you have 90 days from either signing the contract or moving in to rescind the contract if the retirement village does not suit your lifestyle.
As a resident of a retirement village, you have resident rights. These rights include a right to reasonable peace, comfort, safety, and security in your home so you can spend your days at home peacefully. This means that you should be able to enjoy your living space without undue interference or disturbance from others. If this right is being violated, for example, due to repeated noise disturbances from other residents or on-site staff, as a resident, you may have the grounds to make a complaint to management. If you have grounds to complain and the management fails to address the issue despite your complaints, this is a situation that may be in breach of your rights. By protecting the resident rights to reasonable peace, comfort and privacy, retirement villages can create a safe and enjoyable living environment for everyone. As a resident of a retirement village, you have the right to autonomy over personal, financial and other matters. As a resident of a retirement village, you have the right to live in an environment free from harassment and intimidation. The operator of a retirement village must not interfere with residents' rights or permit any interference with these rights. Your rights and obligations will depend on the type of contract you have. If you're unsure, give our team a call.
Elder abuse and harassment is a serious issue that is not to be taken lightly. It is important to understand what elder abuse and harassment looks like, to understand your rights as a resident of a retirement village. Elder abuse includes physical abuse, such as hitting, pushing, or restraining a resident without their consent, or emotional abuse, such as yelling, belittling, or threatening a resident, and financial abuse, such as stealing or misusing a resident's money or property. Harassment can be intimidation of residents by management or other residents, and intimidation or retaliation against a resident who speaks out about their concerns or complaints. Should you be experiencing any form of abuse or harassment by other residents, you should notify the management of the retirement village immediately. Should you be experiencing abuse or harassment by the management or staff of a retirement village, you should contact Seniors' Rights Service or a legal advisor for advice. There are many solutions to stopping and preventing abuse, as well as ensuring that the perpetrators of abuse are brought to justice.
As a resident of a retirement village, you can receive a range of care services and support through a care package. These care packages may include assistance with activities of daily living, such as personal care, meal preparation and housekeeping, as well as access to allied health services, such as physiotherapy, podiatry and occupational therapy. The specific care services and supports available through a care package will depend on the resident's individual needs and the level of care they require. Care packages are typically designed to be flexible and tailored to the resident's specific circumstances, with regular reviews to ensure that the care provided remains appropriate and effective. Residents in New South Wales may be eligible to receive a care package through the Commonwealth Home Support Program, which provides funding for basic care services, or the Home Care Packages Program, which provides more comprehensive care services for those with more complex needs. Overall, Care packages can be an important resource for residents in retirement villages, helping them to maintain their independence, quality of life, and their well-being. It's worth investigating the care services and supports that are available at your retirement village of choice to ensure that your needs can be met over the long term. Should the operator at your retirement village have any unreasonable requests, such as care worker reporting to the facility office before seeing the resident, thereby taking time away from the resident's care under the package, then they are in breach of your rights as a receiver of the care package. You can make a complaint to the management or contact Seniors' Rights Service for advice on the matter and solutions available to you.
If the operator of your retirement village is trying to serve you a notice of eviction without an order from the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal, NCAT, or if the order does not fit within the reasons discussed, seek legal advice on what can be done to ensure the security of your tenure is respected. Eviction can happen in retirement villages. Retirement village operators cannot evict a resident by giving an eviction or termination notice. The operator must seek an order from NCAT. There are steps you can take to protect your rights. Firstly, check to see whether the notice is an eviction notice or notice of intention by the operator to seek termination of your contract by NCAT because you have breached your contract, as you may be able to challenge the notice. Secondly, you have the right to seek legal advice and representation to assist you in challenging the eviction. A lawyer with experience in retirement village law can help to assess the strength of the eviction notice and provide guidance on the resident's options for disputing it. If the dispute cannot be resolved through negotiation or mediation with the retirement village operator, the matter may need to be taken to NCAT for resolution. Overall, receiving a notice of eviction can be a stressful and challenging experience for residents of retirement villages. However, by seeking legal advice and taking the appropriate steps to challenge the eviction if necessary, residents can protect their rights and ensure that their voice is heard in the process. The NCAT, in its consumer and commercial division, is the tribunal that governs disputes arising from living in a retirement village. NCAT is an independent decision-making body which is available to residents and operators. They receive application for retirement village disputes and keep administrative costs low, as it is a tribunal which aims to be quick and inexpensive to streamline the process of leading to a solution.
Retirement villages usually have repairs and maintenance fees. These levies, fees and maintenance charges are in place in order to meet the expenses of running their retirement village. These fees are outlined in the contract, and the annual increase may either be a fixed formula that changes with the consumer price index or a non-fixed formula. It is important to understand what these fees are and to ensure you can meet your contract obligations in paying these fees. To increase the fees, the operator will issue a notice of variation to the recurrent charges. If your contract has a fixed formula, the operator must give at least 14 days notice of the increase. There is no requirement that you consent or accept the variation. If the formula is non-fixed, the operator can still choose to vary the charges according to the CPI variation. If so, at least 14 days notice is required. If the variation is more than what's allowed under the CPI, then the operator must give you at least 60 days notice in writing, and you must provide written consent accepting this variation. If you do not consent to this recurrent charge variation, the operator can make an application to NCAT for an order increasing the fees payable. Your recurrent charges cover a number of costs for the retirement village's maintenance and repair. The recurrent costs that you pay cover the maintenance of capital items, such as the maintenance and repair of buildings and structures, as well as normal wear and tear. However, if you own your own unit in the retirement village, then you pay for this maintenance of this unit, as well as any damage caused to this unit. If you are unsure what's covered under the recurring charges, please check your contract in detail, as your contract will outline what you are responsible for and what the operator is responsible for maintaining. Replacement of fixed items of capital cannot be funded out of recurrent charges, and the operator must pay for these costs.
An annual budget is required by the Retirement Villages Act and contains and outlines the proposed expenditure in order to meet the expenses of running the village by the operator. The operator must provide the proposed budget to residents 60 days before the financial year starts. The budget must contain the retirement village's income, which comes from the recurrent charges paid by the residents, and whether the retirement village is sitting in a surplus or deficit. The budget cannot contain the following: professional association fees, travel costs for operator, depreciation of buildings, replacement of fixed capital items, payroll tax and head office fees. These fees are not covered by the recurring charges that residents pay. As a resident, it is your responsibility to consider whether you accept the proposed budget or not. This is usually done through casting a vote. If more than 50% of the retirement village residents vote to agree, then the budget is accepted. If you are confused about any items within the proposed budget or need further clarification, you can ask the operator to provide you with more information. Once the budget is approved through the voting process by the residents, it becomes the approved annual budget and must be adhered to by the operator. Minor variations within the budget are deemed acceptable, as long as they do not provide a high level of variance or do not fall in the category of costs that the budget cannot contain. The only scenario where the approved annual budget can be amended by the operator is in the case of unanticipated circumstances. These are usually either urgent or unforeseeable, or both. The operator should also hold a yearly meeting with the residents to allow them to ask questions about the budget. The role of the Residents Committee is to receive accounts from the operator of the retirement village, so it should be present at the meeting. The operator must provide accounts information containing annual and quarterly accounts to the Residents Committee or any interested residents who ask for this information. In the case of a budget having either a surplus or deficit, these should be carried over to the next financial year. The operator must cover a budget deficit out of their own funds. If you have any questions regarding budgets, approving budgets, or line items, please contact Seniors Rights Service for more information.
If residents in the retirement village choose to have a residents committee, residents can do so. A residents committee is recognised under the Retirement Villages Act, and it is for residents by residents. It provides communication between the operator and the residents. The residents committee represents the residents in the village in meetings with the operator. Its role is to call and conduct meetings, report to the operator, take the matter to NCAT if required in a dispute, receive financial accounts, propose amendments to village rules, have contact with prospective residents, and meet with the operator. It is not compulsory to become involved in the resident committee when moving into a retirement village, but many residents choose to participate in order to be more involved in the decision-making processes of the retirement village to help their fellow residents. A residents committee is formed through a general meeting of the residents through a majority, over 50% vote. Residents participate in establishing the procedure, committee rules, such as composition of the committee member election, committee meetings, etc. Residents can adopt the model rules for Residents Committee that can be downloaded from the New South Wales Fair Trading website. The residents can then accept nominations from residents who want to be part of the Resident Committee and hold an election for committee members. Any resident of the retirement village can apply or accept a nomination to be part of the committee. The following types of people cannot be part of the Residents Committee: friends or family of residents who do not live in the retirement village, the operator, employees or agents of the operators, residents of Commonwealth-funded aged care homes, and residents from another village.
We hope that the information in these videos has given you an insight into your rights as a resident living in a retirement village or considering moving to one. If you would like further information on any of the topics we've covered, Or if you would like to get in touch for any other reason, please contact Seniors' Rights Service. You can reach us on 1800 424 079 or online at seniorsrightsservice.org.au.